of the first general membership meeting of the PSA for the 2023-2024 school year. Thank you for everyone who is joining us in person. Do we have anyone? Oh, Melissa Melendez just walked in. Melissa, you want to translate? Do you want to translate? Okay. So if there's anyone in the audience, Mariella, is it? Mariella is here with us, and she is willing to translate for us tonight. Yeah, if you want to come up here, that'd be great. So this is our regular notice of all meetings are recorded. And that you can view any of the pre-recorded, the previous meetings. The recordings are available on YouTube, so you can view all of last year. And then each meeting we have this year will be posted shortly thereafter.
So I should
Yeah.
here for the computer. Oh.
Yeah, here, you're fine. It just looks a mess.
So you said that they can see the recorded
Yeah.
meetings in the YouTube. Okay.
Everything's on YouTube.
Hola, bienvenidos a la primera reunión de la Organización de Padres del año escolar. Lo que decíamos es que los avisos y también las grabaciones de las reuniones se van a compartir por YouTube en la cuenta de la escuela, como lo ven ahí en ese website que está en la pantalla.
Okay, just give me 1 second. There seems to be a glare on the screen. I'm not sure. Same as last year, any questions that you have for the administration will be answered at the end of the meeting, provided the time permitted. Please keep those to general questions. Any concerns regarding a specific child or situation that's come up at school, those should be emailed to the principal, either Ms. Perez Hernandez, Ms. Ramirez, or Ms. Rivera. Their emails are shown here.
Ok, que cualquier pregunta o inquietud que tengan, la vamos a dejar para el final. Si tienen preguntas generales, la pueden hacer al final de la reunión. Y si tienen preguntas o algo que quieran decir más específico, pueden enviarlo por correo electrónico a esos correos que están ahí de la directora y la asistente de directora y la coordinadora de padres.
Okay, sorry, I think we missed so the September agenda is as follows. We have the welcome, the president's report. We'll cover meet the new executive board, getting involved in 4 easy steps, followed by the SLT report, the treasurer's report, the principal's report, and then the adjournment. And then for everyone who's present this evening, we will be having the expedited election.
Ok, entonces este es el programa de la reunión de hoy. Primero, la bienvenida que estamos dando ahora. Después vamos a tener un informe con la presidenta de la Junta de Padres y vamos a conocer la nueva Junta Directiva. También le sigue el informe de SLT. SLT es el equipo de liderazgo de la escuela. Después de eso, el informe de la tesorera, de la directora de la escuela y ya al final, el final.
Okay. So moving right along, we have the president's report. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey Fisher-Bear. I am the president of the PSA this year. I was the recording secretary last year. My son Arlo is a 3rd grader in class 304. And this is our current executive board. So Mary Louise, I know you're on the call. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. 1 minute. Sorry.
I'm going to quickly translate what you just said. Okay, quien estaba hablando es Casey Fisher-Bear. Ella es la presidenta de la Junta de Padres. Su niño está en el 3er grado. Y estas señoras de la foto son las que conforman la Junta Directiva. Y ahora se va a presentar Mary Louise Foss, que es la tesorera.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Louise Foss. My son is James. He's in class 404. I'm the treasurer this year, and I was also the treasurer last year. And 2 years ago, I was secretary. So been around for a while. If anyone has any questions about anything in the school, I try to, I'm pretty nosy and usually know the answers. So feel free to reach out, and I look forward to throwing some really fun events this year and working with all of you.
Ok, Mary Louise dice, bueno, se presenta, ella es la tesorera de la Asociación de Padres y dice que tiene muchos años en la escuela, así que cualquier cosa también le pueden hacer preguntas. Tiene un niño aquí en la escuela y bueno, eso.
Next we have Yasmin, who's here tonight. She is our vice president.
Bueno, Yasmín, la vicepresidenta, y ella se va a presentar ahora. Y entre paréntesis, yo soy Mariel, también tengo mi niño aquí en la escuela y soy una miembro madre del equipo de liderazgo de la escuela. I was just saying that I'm a member of the school leadership team. My name is Mariel, and I also have a child. My oldest child is in the school, because I forgot to introduce myself earlier. And Yasmín.
Hola, yo soy Yasmin Montes. Mi niña está en 104. Es el primer año y estoy muy emocionada de ser parte del comité de padres.
Okay, Yasmin says she's the vice president of the PSA, sorry, the Parents Staff Association. Her child is in the first grade, and she's, very excited to be here.
Okay, and our co-secretary Yvette Ramirez unfortunately was not able to make it tonight. She had an emergency come up, and then as you'll see from the slide, the recording secretary position, unfortunately, the person who accepted the position last year, her child ended up accepting a seat at another school, and they chose that right before the year started. And so that's why that seat has become available. It was offered by rights of succession, which is what our bylaws stipulates, to Yvette Ramirez. She decided that she would prefer to stay as co-secretary. So that's why we will be having an expedited election this evening.
Okay, entonces como ven en la imagen, no tenemos secretaria que tome notas, ¿no? de las reuniones, y por eso hoy va a haber una reunión, una votación, mejor dicho, de emergencia para seleccionar a quién sería la nueva. Y de cómo funciona por parte de las reglas es que la cosecretaria, que es Yvette Ramírez, por ejemplo, quien no puede estar presente en la reunión, hubiese sido quien suceda a la secretaria, pero ella decidió permanecer en su posición como cosecretaria, así que por eso va a haber elecciones.
Okay, so moving on. So what is a PSA? When I first came here, for anyone who's new this year, you might be wondering why it's not a PTA or a PA, and that's because PSA stands for a Parent Staff Association.
Okay, un PSA es en otras escuelas se llama PTA o PA, pero en esta escuela se llama PSA porque significa la Asociación de Padres y Staff. Staff es quienes trabajan en el área administrativa de la escuela, o sea, no solo los maestros. Entonces es la Asociación de Maestros, Padres y empleados de la escuela.
Okay, and so what sort of makes us different, because it is a Parent Staff Association, our objectives are a little bit different. These are the objectives that are set forth in our bylaws, and this is what we're working to sort of embody and build upon each and every year. So number one is develop parent leadership and build capacity for greater involvement. We want as many people involved at each and every event, activity, initiative as possible. Number two, foster and encourage participation on all levels, same as above. Number 3, develop cooperative working relationships between the parents and staff at our school. So we really want to support the staff and the teachers as any way we can. So last year we did the teacher wish list, and like there's often school events that we try to, they need volunteers, and so we try to help them fill that need as much as possible. Number 4, provide opportunities and training for parents to participate in school governance and decision making. So there's the PSA executive board, which sort of makes rules and governs the PSA. There's also the SLT, which is the school leadership team. That's another opportunity for parents to get involved and help shape more specifically kind of the academic side of the school. The PSA tends to be more social, with sort of like a supporting role for the academic stuff. And then there's the Title I PAC, which is the Title I Parent Advisory Committee. We are a Title I school, which means every year a portion of the federal funds that we receive for Title I, our school, that is set aside for parent engagement funds. It's a good chunk of change, and then the parents get to decide how that money is spent. So there's a chairperson and a co-chairperson, but there's lots of room for input. So if you want to be involved in that particular committee, I know Stacy Johnson, who's the current the current chairperson, is always looking for people who want to jump in. And then finally, number 5 is provide support and resources to the school for the benefit and educational growth of the students. So last year we had Little Mozart come and do a auditorium presentation, and it was like a musical enrichment activity. We would like to do more of those things as funds and time permit, but that's something that we're always working to increase. I have it in Spanish on the next slide. That's helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Bueno, los objetivos de la Asociación de Padres y Empleados de la Escuela son los que están en la pantalla, pero Casey también agregaba que aparte de esa parte organizativa de la escuela, la Asociación de Padres y Empleados, también están el equipo de liderazgo y el grupo que what is the name of the Title I? Like the
Title
group?
I Parent Advisory.
Parent Advisory, okay. El grupo que maneja los fondos y que decide qué hacer con los fondos del Título 1, que es dinero federal que las escuelas reciben, y que cada año siempre hay algún dinero que se puede utilizar para cualquier cosa. Por ejemplo, el año pasado se utilizó para las clases de música que los niños recibían en la tarde. Y bueno, esos son los objetivos que vemos en la pantalla de la Asociación de Padres y Empleados de la escuela. El primero es desarrollar el liderazgo de los padres y desarrollar la capacidad para una mayor participación. O sea que a través de los grupos que ya mencioné, les exhortamos que se involucren, que se postulen a alguna posición si hay abierta y se necesita su ayuda, o para colaborar en cualquier evento. Y bueno, y que participen en las reuniones como hoy también. El número 2 es fomentar la participación de los padres en todos los niveles, que está relacionado con el punto 1, que queremos que los padres se involucren y participen en actividades de la escuela, la toma de decisiones, votaciones. El tercero es desarrollar una relación de trabajo cooperativo entre los padres y el personal de la escuela, que por eso es el hecho de que es una asociación de padres y empleados, o padre y personal administrativo y de otro tipo que trabaja en la escuela para tener una relación cooperativa, ¿no? El cuarto es proporcionar oportunidades y capacitación para que los padres participen en el gobierno escolar y la toma de decisiones, de ahí a que se postulen en algún cargo que quede abierto, una posición que quede abierta en la asociación de padres, en el equipo de liderazgo o en el de Título 1. Y el quinto, el punto número 5, de los objetivos del grupo de padres y empleados, es el de brindar apoyo y recursos al colegio para el beneficio y crecimiento educativo de los estudiantes.
Okay. So how do we do all that? That's a lot. ¿Cómo hacemos todo eso? The answer is you. We do that through your participation. So no matter we need your ideas, time, energy, and support.
Ok, bueno, como preguntó Casey, ¿cómo vamos a hacer todo eso, a llevar a cabo todos esos puntos que acabamos de leer? Y la idea es que ustedes participen más, necesitamos que contribuyan en actividades, que se postulen a posiciones, que estén libres y que apoyen en cualquier, como puedan, ¿no? Se involucren en las actividades de la escuela.
Okay, so the next part is getting involved in 4 easy steps.
Entonces, vamos a leer ahora 4 pasos para quienes quieran involucrarse más en actividades escolares.
Okay, so number 1, we want to hear your ideas. We would love to have your feedback on the events that we had last year. If you were able to attend, we would like to hear what you want to see for activities going forward for this year, what you would be interested in participating in terms of fundraisers. We want to hear your ideas. We did something similar last year and it was tremendously helpful to sort of set the agenda and calendar for the year. And we hope to do the same for this year going forward. We did a number of in-person things last year, so there is a section. If you were able to attend, we would be very interested in your feedback on the family dance party, the game night, all that stuff.
Okay, el primer paso sería su colaboración con llenar esta encuesta. En la encuesta van a poder dar su opinión y decir cualquier cosa sobre eventos que tuvimos el año pasado, qué les pareció, qué puede cambiar, sugerencias para eventos para este año, y que el año pasado se hizo se mandó una encuesta similar y que ayudó muchísimo en poder organizar algunos de los eventos que vamos a tener este año. Entonces la encuesta es muy importante porque así nos ayudaría a estipular qué eventos tener, cómo hacerlo. Y bueno, ya como todo ha estado abriendo, vamos a tener más eventos en persona. Así que a llenar la encuesta todo el mundo.
Okay, so the survey, it's available at this bit.ly link, so you can just put that into your search bar, or you can scan the QR code. This will also be backpacked next week, so you'll receive a paper copy if you prefer the pen and paper version. You can just fill it out and return it to school, and then we'll ask teachers to drop it off in the PSA office. Our hope is to present the results of this survey at the October meeting.
Ok, entonces para llenar la encuesta pueden usar ese enlace o el código QR que está en la pantalla, pero también la semana que viene se va a enviar una circular con el enlace y el código QR, si lo quieren hacer a mano. Entonces lo van a recibir la semana que viene en la mochila de sus niños y lo pueden mandar de nuevo a la escuela para que la maestra se lo entregue a la oficina. Y así tengamos los resultados para la próxima reunión en octubre.
Okay, so number 2 on how to get the second step in how to get involved is attend meetings. So everybody has a busy schedule. Currently, the way our bylaws are written is that you can attend meetings in person here, like these fine people, or you can log in on Zoom. That was a change that was made in November of last year with the hope that we would engage more people who might not be comfortable logging in on Zoom. If you cannot make the meetings as scheduled, currently they're scheduled for the second Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. We had to reschedule this month's meeting because of a scheduling conflict with the Meet the Teacher night. But if you are not able to meet those, like I said earlier, you can watch all of the meetings from before on our YouTube channel, just so you kind of have an idea of what's going on.
Entonces, otra forma de involucrarse es participar en las reuniones como la de hoy día, ya sea viniendo a la escuela o por Zoom, como está estipulado en las regulaciones de la membresía de la Asociación de Padres y Empleados. Las reuniones están supuestas a ocurrir cada segundo jueves del mes a las 6 p.m. Y esta reunión, no estamos en el segundo jueves, se está haciendo hoy porque había conflicto con la reunión con las maestras el jueves pasado para conocer a las maestras de sus niños. Pero usualmente se van a hacer cada segundo jueves a las 6 p.m. Y ya saben que tienen la opción de conectarse por Zoom si no pueden venir en persona. Y también después podrán ver el video de la reunión en el canal de YouTube de la escuela.
So at this point, part of the chancellor's regulations and our bylaws stipulate that we are to review sort of the existing meeting format and time and date of the meeting every year. So at this point, we would like to open up the floor to discussion. If anybody would like to propose a change, like Thursdays just don't work for you, or perhaps you feel like the hybrid meeting format is sort of odd and like you're kind of you're sitting in an auditorium and you're kind of watching a Zoom call anyways. So maybe you would prefer it to just be one or the other. Now is the time to have that conversation.
Okay. Otra cosa que está estipulada en las regulaciones es que podemos votar para ver cómo es que se van a llevar a cabo las reuniones, si conviene el horario de jueves segundo jueves a las 6 de la tarde, y también el formato, que si conviene que sea formato híbrido, y si alguien tiene alguna opinión o alguna sugerencia de que se cambie el horario, o de que si el formato es un poco confuso porque la mitad de los participantes están en la pantalla y la otra mitad en persona, que ahora es el momento de dar su opinión y decir y sugerir otras formas en cómo se podría llevar a cabo la reunión.
Okay, does anyone have any comments, suggestions about the meeting format or the date and time?
Si tienen algún comentario o sugerencia de cómo llevar a cabo la reunión, o un comentario si la hora no le conviene o el día, puede decirlo ahora.
Thank you. I like it this way because if you can't come in person, you have the option of joining on Zoom. So I appreciate the hybrid.
Thank you. Anybody have any comments about the meeting day? Like, do Thursdays work for people? Does 6 o'clock work for people? I'm getting some thumbs up in the audience.
That's fine with me.
Okay, well, since I don't hear any motions for change, let me just check the chat real quick. I see some appreciate the Zoom option. Date and time works for me and my family. Hybrid works.
Okay. Pues parece que en general quienes comentan en el chat por Zoom y quienes están aquí en el público en persona, dice que le parece bien el formato híbrido y también el horario, el segundo jueves de cada mes a las 6 de la tarde.
I was just gonna say, you know, if we didn't do hybrid, our thought was to go to full remote again, because at the end of last year, not many people showed up for the meeting. So it was basically Casey and I in a room by ourselves. So we just, if we're gonna keep doing hybrid meetings like this, we'll always stay, you know, we'll always have an online option, but I hope that people will be able to attend in person.
And then there's a question in the chat. Does anyone actually want in person? Would it be easier for the PSA board?
Yes, I would like in person, but I love to have an extra option so that, let's say something comes up, one of my kids are sick,
At all?
I can come.
Let me, hold on.
sorry.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
For me, I would love to come in.
Okay.
I have 4 kids, so if I can't come in, I will still like to be able to chime in, you know, on the Zoom. So I like that there's an option, but I would definitely love to come in. Yes, I will be one of the participants.
We're
Okay.
gonna start having snacks at every meeting, just so you guys know. So come for the snacks at least.
Yeah, we have cookies and Ritz crackers tonight. I hope everybody helped themselves.
If I knew that the PSA was in person, I would have bought the rice and beans with the chicken, and we would have had dinner there all together.
Claro.
Okay, well, next month,
Next month I'll be there.
you're on the hook.
También will be with a potluck, okay.
I thought it was just I wasn't sure. I got the Zoom link, but I didn't know that we can actually go in person. I would have been there.
It is, we are working on getting the messaging out so that it's a little bit clearer. Like, we're trying to encourage the in person and like, please come and join us, blah, blah, blah. But then that Zoom link is on there. And I think people, especially after the past couple of years, are very acclimated to being like, oh, it's on Zoom. I saw the logo, it's on Zoom.
Mhm.
And also for today, there's going to be potentially an election, and that's only for those who are here, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's also, so yeah. I'll translate a little bit of what has been happening just in case. Otro de los comentarios que las personas han dicho es cuestionando de que si el formato híbrido funciona o que si se debería quizá hacer solo por Zoom, porque hay veces que poca gente viene en persona, pero otros dicen que se debe dejar híbrido, o sea, en Zoom y en persona al mismo tiempo, para que así participen lo más personas posible. Hoy ya vemos mucha gente, creo yo, y sí, porque hay algunos que dicen que le conviene de una manera o de la otra, así que por ahora, por el momento, va a ser formato híbrido. Y una persona dijo que no se fijó en el volante, que también podía venir en persona y que hubiesen venido. O sea que, bueno, lean bien las comunicaciones, pero vamos a tratar de que sea lo más claro posible en los volantes, de que se diga cómo se va a llevar a cabo la reunión, pero usualmente van a ser así en persona y por Zoom. Así que por eso van a tener va a decir la información de que es en persona para que vengan y el enlace de Zoom para quienes no pueden venir.
Okay, so there is a vocal contingent in person who is very adamant about keeping the in-person option. I was the person who proposed the change to the bylaws last year, and since I'm the one who's coming to run the in-person meeting, if you guys are fine sort of with the sometimes technical delays that this hybrid option creates, I'm fine. Like, I think it's, for me, I like that seeing people in person. I have a better idea of who's who. I can see faces much better than I can on a little tiny window on a screen. So for me, I feel like if anybody in this room wants to do in person, then we should keep doing in person. Mariah?
Yeah, say that, like, it's a lot easier for me to do Zoom, but I came here because, you know, I knew we needed to go. But I was super gonna do in person, like, let's make our own sense to be in person, and that's like being able to be together, community building, and make that like an option that makes sense, versus like, oh, now I have to negotiate all these things, why did I train them?
Right. I do think, and this is something that Ms. Perez Hernandez made possible for us, is we got a total upgrade in our PSA space. So we are now in room 119, which is a nice big room, and it has long tables and smart boards. And so it is a nice, comfortable space for a smaller group to sit. It's not as cavernous as the auditorium, and it makes it easier to presumably, we haven't done it yet, but it'd make it easier for a meeting to be conducted in that space. And also the technology, sometimes this connection to the projector and the auditorium can be a little finicky. I think that would make everything kind of easier and more comfortable for everyone and sort of bring a sense of community, because it's kind of hard to get that like cozy feeling in a room that sits like 300 people.
Uh-huh. Ok, entonces lo que discutíamos aquí ahora es, bueno, sí, mantenerlo de la opción híbrida, y Casey decía que posiblemente se pudiera usar la nueva oficina del PSA, de la asociación, que está ahora en el número 110, en el cuarto 119. Es una oficina un poquito más grande, tiene una mesa, tiene equipo audiovisual, y no es tan grande como el auditorio, que quizá entonces es mejor para un grupo más reducido si venimos en persona, o lo que vamos a venir en persona para las reuniones, y así tener una mejor conexión también para quienes van a conectarse por Zoom, porque aquí en el auditorio a veces el aparato que conecta con la pantalla, hay dificultades técnicas, entonces eso hace que se retrase un poquito el inicio de la reunión.
At this point, does anyone want to make a motion about the meeting format or the date and time, or is everyone fine keeping the bylaws as they stand? Yeah, so, in 119, like that problem would be alleviated because it's not as echoey and like it
Ujú.
actually has speakers built into the smart boards and like it'll project outward. So going forward, that wouldn't be
Ujú.
an obstacle. Okay,
Okay, ¿algún comentario o sugerencia sobre cambiar el formato de las reuniones o el día? O si están todos de acuerdo con el horario, el segundo jueves del mes a las 6 p.m., formato híbrido. Los que no puedan venir en persona se conectan por Zoom y los que puedan vienen en persona. Si tienen algún comentario o algo, ahora es el momento, si no vamos a pasar al próximo punto. Someone wrote, allá soy.
Hi, Tiffany. No, the date and time is staying the same. I move to keep the bylaws the same as they are for the time.
okay. If there's,
Should I put this back?
yeah. So do we need to do an official poll then, and then like a show of hands, in the,
I don't think so because we're not changing the bylaws. We're just having
Okay.
discussion about it.
great, so if there's no objections, then the motion to keep the bylaws and the time of the meeting passes. Going once, going twice? Great, so we're still second Thursdays of the month, and then it's still the hybrid format.
Las reuniones se van a mantener el segundo jueves de cada mes a las 6 p.m. y en formato híbrido.
So,
Someone-
oh. Great.
Okay. Ujú.
So lots of thumbs up all around. So number 3 on the getting involved in 4 easy steps is stay informed. So this is feedback we often get, is that it is hard to kind of know what's going on with the school. Basically, information is distributed in a couple different ways. So there's papers that are backpacked. All the flyers that we email, they are sent home in your child's backpack that the PSA distributes. There are emails that are sent from that are from the PSA, but they have to be distributed by the school because we, for privacy reasons, we can't do an email blast directly. So sometimes there's a little bit of a lag, but in order for you to get those messages, you need to make sure that you have a New York City school account, because now, and Ms. Perez Hernandez can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the whole central clearinghouse. That's the listserv where everybody is the school is getting the information on how to contact you. So if you've been getting those messages on your phone, if you've been getting emails that don't say, from Miss Amador in Miss Rivera's absence, that's where it's coming from. So please, 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 if you have not already, please create a New York City school account. And this is an account that like the Department of Education has set up. It's an account that follows your child until they graduate. Basically, any information that the DOE keeps on your kid, like attendance, performance records, any of that kind of stuff, that will be in that account. And so it's really a resource for you as a parent.
Okay. El próximo paso o el tercer paso para mantenerse apoyando a la comunidad escolar es mantenerse informado. Y una de esas maneras es crear una cuenta en la cuenta escolar de la ciudad de Nueva York, si no la tienen ya. Si la tienen, lo más seguro es que ya reciben correo electrónico o mensajes de texto no de la escuela directamente, que los envía la señora Amador, por ejemplo, o la directora de la escuela, sino son mensajes que vienen desde el Departamento de Educación. Si los recibe es porque ya ustedes tienen su cuenta, si no, por favor, créela, porque desde ahí se mandan mensajes importantes de la escuela y también del sistema en general escolar. Y ahí es donde se va a centralizar como que toda la información que nos va a llegar a nosotros de cualquier actividad o cualquier cosa que tenga relación con la escuela. Y también es una cuenta que va a seguir a su niño o su niña hasta que se gradúe. Ahí se va a tener documentación de las notas, cualquier calificación, todo lo que tenga que ver con su hijo en la escuela va a estar centralizado en ese website, en esa cuenta. O sea, esa es una manera de mantenerse informado virtualmente y también revisando los correos que le llegan de la escuela desde la coordinadora. Algunos puede que tarden un poquito más porque la lista de correos de la escuela no se pueden mandar todos a la vez, entonces por parte, pero eso, mantenerse informado a través de los correos electrónicos, los volantes que se mandan a la casa y creando esta cuenta de escolar de la ciudad de Nueva York.
So, and that brings us to, oh, this is a New York City, the Nixa account tutorial. Mary Louise, do you have this that you can drop into the chat?
I don't have it at the ready.
You don't have to drop it in the chat right
But I-
now, but if you could just
okay.
do it in a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll find it.
So basically, this is a tutorial that, and there used to be a link to this on the school on the school homepage. But if you need help setting up an account for your child and like the DOE web stuff, it's a little counterintuitive. So a tutorial is helpful. You can go here and like it'll walk you through the steps to do it. Also, if you need help at the school, like you can contact the PSA and we can make arrangements. We haven't set up office hours, but once we do, it's looking like it'll probably be Wednesday mornings for me. But if you need help setting up a Nixa account, like we can definitely coordinate with the executive board, or we can also coordinate with someone at the school.
Ok, esto que ven en la pantalla es una toma de pantalla del portal donde pueden crear la cuenta para la que le comentaba, de la para sus hijos, ¿no? Y Mari Luis va a poner el enlace en el chat, no, o a lo mejor ya lo puso. Y este es un enlace con una guía o un tutorial para cómo crear esa cuenta. Y si necesitan ayuda, en persona, porque el tutorial en sí los va a guiar, pero si necesitan más ayuda, pueden comunicarse con la escuela para venir en persona y hacerlo aquí. Todavía no hay horario de oficina para la Asociación de Padres y Empleados, pero por ahora pueden ser los miércoles en la mañana, que sí estaría aquí, pero cualquier cosa llamen o si no vean el enlace, el video del enlace que les guía cómo crear esa cuenta. There's a few messages.
Okay. So it looks like there's some.
Ajá, el enlace ya está en el chat. The link is in the chat already.
Okay. So there's a question in the chat, who's able to help set up the school account? I've been emailing the parent coordinator to receive access. So that is a good question. Since Ms. Rivera is not here, is that to contact Ms. Amador or? Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
they got the
Great. So that looks like it's all there. And then and then the new message. Oh, do you want to go back and see the agenda, Tiffany? Is that what you're asking for?
Tiffany, tú estás hablando de la agenda de la reunión. ¿Quieres que volvamos para atrás para que la veas? Ah, ok. Maybe we can bring it back and she can take a screenshot.
Yeah, Mary Louise, can you pop a screenshot of the agenda into the chat maybe?
Already on it.
Great, thank you. Okay, so finally, number 4, and this is probably the most essential to the whole getting involved is volunteering. And volunteering really is just a matter of saying yes. And you've already done that tonight by being here. You said yes to this meeting, and that's great. And there's lots of other times where you can say yes, like for PSA events, We need people to decorate. We need people to help with concessions. We need people to facilitate activities. We have some rock stars in the room today, Miss Diane, Melissa, Anna, we have Mariah, like all these people show up each and every time. Yolan, I know, is at home. But we need more faces, because to do more things, we need more hands to make that work lighter. So please, 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 when you see an email, and even if you're kind of like, well, I don't know, like, do I know anything about like glittering hearts for the Valentine's Day dance? Maybe not, but you'll learn real fast. And like with the decorating things, like last year we had a decorating party before the dance, and people brought their kids, and the kids loved it. And there was such a sense of pride and community with the kids being like, look what I made, like, look how I made this thing for this event at my school. And it was really nice to see. It was kind of one of my favorite moments of all last year. The actual down and dirty glitter bomb that was the PSA office. So then there's, you can help raise money or solicit donations. We will be doing various fundraising campaigns throughout the year. Those are TBD, but there is a standing fundraising committee that meets on Zoom the third Tuesday of every month. Those meetings will start in October. If you have ideas, if you're an expert fundraiser, if you have like an an organization that loves to give stuff to schools who need it, like, please, please, please come. We need your skills. We need your time. We need your connections. Also just bringing your ideas to that meeting. And we did a holiday sale last year, and it was like for the kids, and they shopped for gifts for their family and school. It seemed like the kids had a good time, but then we got a lot of feedback afterwards about like, well, what about this, that, and the other? Now is the time for those suggestions. We want to hear those ideas now, because, December's right around the corner, and this is when we start making those plans. Also, you can participate in Title I. The Title I PAC, Mariella here is a parent representative, but those meetings are, I'm sorry.
No, I'm in the
You're
SLT.
SLT.
Yeah.
I misspoke. Sorry.
It's okay.
The Title I PAC is, like I said earlier, that helps decide how we get to use this money that is allocated from the Title I budget. And last year, Stacy and Nyasha did a bang up job of researching ideas, and they were able to procure Rosetta Stone subscriptions for the entire school. Every kid and parent in the entire school got a free subscription that is valid through November. And then on top of that, they were able to do a whole workshop series. They did 3 workshops in English, 3 workshops in Spanish about how to improve study skills and time management for your child. And I know that the people who were able to attend those really, really enjoyed them. Also, this was something that was set up last year. Most classes, and we will be doing sort of a check-in to see that everybody has a class parent, but last year we set up a class parent sort of web, which is kind of like an old-fashioned phone tree, where there's a class parent who's on WhatsApp, they're in the master list, and then like they'll get a message, and then that message they send to their class WhatsApp. So I'm a class parent for 304. And so when there's a message that like, oh, we need volunteers for Brighter Bites, I put that message in the classroom WhatsApp group. So if you are not aware of a WhatsApp group for your class and you're interested in sort of taking on that position, please email the PSA at ps376.com. And then finally, there's lots of the school, in addition to the things that the PSA does, the school does lots of things. They put on like an amazing harvest festival last year. They did the back to school jam that I know a lot of people had a good time at last Saturday. But when they put on these big events, they need volunteers. We are lucky enough to be part of the Brighter Bites program this year, and it is a fresh food initiative where 150 families get to sign up to participate, and they will be receiving bags of fresh food. But in order to make that happen, we need 10 volunteers to help pack and distribute that food every time there's a distribution day. So if you are interested both in signing up, how many signups do you have currently for the program? Okay, so there's 150 spots to actually receive the food. As of now, Ms. Perez Hernandez is saying that there's 62 spots that have been taken, which means that there's a bunch of spots left. The first distribution is tomorrow, correct? So the first distribution is tomorrow. You could go online after this meeting, sign up, and then be walking out of school tomorrow afternoon with a bag of fresh vegetables and fruit.
Can you say when the pickup time is too? And can Ms. Perez Hernandez tell us what time the volunteers are needed?
Absolutely. Ms. Perez Hernandez is going to talk more about this, but this is just an
Okay.
example of one of the times where like the school reaches out to the PSA and is like, hey, we could use some extra hands for this. And so when those messages go out through channels that aren't necessarily like email blasts, like if it's through your WhatsApp, if you see it on Facebook, please, please just say yes. Like you don't have to make a long time commitment. And like, honestly, like if you do it for a little bit and you can't do it any longer, like that's fine. Like anything is better than nothing.
Ok, entonces el último punto en cómo podrían ayudar a la comunidad escolar es siendo voluntarios y voluntarios de diferentes iniciativas que hay en la escuela, como los eventos de la Asociación de Padres y Empleados, pueden postularse para cualquier tipo de cosa. O sea, para cada evento, si son bailes o fiestas, se necesita decoración, venta de tickets y de snacks, o facilitar actividades, si es como una feria como la que se hizo el año pasado, que había diferentes estaciones con actividades. Se necesita de todo. Entonces, no tienen que tener una licenciatura en nada, sino la disposición de querer ayudar y hacer lo que pueda y como pueda. Y Casey daba el ejemplo de que, por ejemplo, el año pasado, para un baile, se hicieron decoración con escarcha, recortando corazones y haciendo las decoraciones, y algunos padres trajeron a sus niños y fue muy lindo ver cómo los niños participaban y se sintieron orgullosos de decorar o de crear las decoraciones que se iban a usar para el mismo evento que ellos iban a venir. Entonces, eso es una de las maneras que pueden ayudar, siendo voluntarios para preparar los eventos o trabajar durante los eventos. Otra forma es ayudando a recaudar dinero para la escuela, para el comité. Y ahí ya hay un comité que es de recaudación de fondos y se reúnen, como dice aquí en la diapositiva, se reúnen por Zoom a las 6 p.m. cada tercer martes y se van a comenzar a reunir desde octubre. O sea, va a ser la primera vez en este año escolar que se van a comenzar a reunir desde octubre. Otra manera en que pueden ayudar también es participando en el comité de título 1, que es, como ya mencionamos anteriormente, es el comité que decide cómo se utilizan los fondos del título 1, que son unos fondos federales. Y por ejemplo, el año pasado, quienes formaban el comité hicieron investigación de cómo podrían usar los fondos, se hizo votación también, se envió a las casas para que todos votáramos de cómo se podían usar esos fondos y al final se consiguió membresías en Rosetta Stone, que es el programa de aprender idiomas, y se consiguió eso para toda la población escolar y los padres, y creo que vencen ahora en noviembre. Si no han activado su cuenta, tienen tiempo de hacerlo, y cosas así. Entonces, son ese tipo de cosas relacionadas con educación en lo que se pueden invertir esos fondos, y es un comité en donde ustedes pueden participar. Otra manera también es siendo el padre o la madre que encabece el grupo de WhatsApp de la clase. Si, por ejemplo, su niño está no sé, en el segundo grado, en la clase 202, usted crea ese grupo de Facebook, invita a los demás padres y cada vez que haya algún evento, se haga algún anuncio de que se necesitan voluntarios o cosas así, entonces usted lo informa en el WhatsApp y así el resto del grupo se entera si por si acaso no lo vieron en otro sitio o en un correo electrónico. Esa es otra manera, creando esa comunidad de su clase por WhatsApp y intercambiando información. Y por último, de nuevo, participando en eventos e iniciativas de la escuela, como la que tenemos este año, es The Brighter Bites, que es una organización que, bueno, se va a distribuir comida fresca, ¿no? Comida, vegetales, frutas. Y la directora va a hablar de eso con más detalle próximamente, pero en la forma en que los padres pueden contribuir en esa iniciativa es venir a empacar la comida que se van a distribuir. Y por ejemplo, mañana va a ser el primer día y se necesitarían 10 personas para venir a empacar comida que se van a distribuir a las familias, o sea, nosotros mismos puede ser. Y decía la directora también que solamente se han registrado 62 familias y hay cupo para 150, o sea que pueden inscribirse hoy cuando termine la reunión y pueden venir mañana cuando se entregue la comida. Ella va a dar también el horario cuando pueden venir a la escuela. Y ese tipo de cosas. Cuando se hacen iniciativas así con otras organizaciones, como en este caso Brighter Bites, que va a traer comida de mercado, frutas y verduras frescas para distribuir gratis, en ese sentido también se necesitan voluntarios para ayudar a organizar la mesa, distribuir la comida o empacarla y así.
Okay. So, and then this is information about Brighter Bites, but Ms. Perez Hernandez will be reviewing this when she does her principal's report. So I'm just going to skip through this. And then just a review. So again, complete the survey. Number 1, complete the survey. 2, attend meetings. 3, stay connected. And 4, volunteer. We want as many people to participate in the PSA as possible this year. You are already a member just being a parent of a 376 students. So please, please, please come and get involved.
Okay, las diapositivas que volamos es sobre lo de Brighter Bites y la pasamos porque la directora va a hablar de eso ahora, pero para ya recapitular con las maneras que se pueden involucrar y participar más en la comunidad escolar es completando el cuestionario, haciendo sugerencias de actividades o alguna, lo que sea que quieran comentar, pueden decirlo en el cuestionario. El segundo punto es venir a las reuniones o asistir por Zoom si no pueden venir en persona. El tercero, mantenerse conectado, o sea, ver los mensajes que le llegan por el celular o por el email, en la mochila de los niños, en los volantes. Manténganse enterados de lo que pasa en la escuela. Y por último, postúlense para venir de voluntarios a ayudar en cualquier cosa que necesitemos, porque de eso se trata, ¿no? Esta es la escuela donde vienen nuestros niños y todo lo podemos contribuir. Y ya con ser padre y madre de la escuela, ustedes son padres son miembros y miembros de la Asociación de Padres Empleados.
Okay. So at long last, that brings us to what I hope is the longest president's report I will ever have to deliver. So now we are on to SLT. It was the first meeting of the SLT was held this past Monday. It was a pretty, it was a very administrative meeting. It was a review of all the bylaws and a discussion of the CEC breakout groups. So it was mostly and setting the meeting date. So I believe that it is the third Monday of every month. I think it's so the SLT meetings will be the third Monday of every month. And while only the elected parent representatives can speak, those meetings are open to everyone. So if you're interested in sort of hearing what goes on in them and just sort of being an observer, a fly on the wall, you are definitely welcome to join on Zoom. All of them are held on Zoom at 4 o'clock.
Ok, eso es un resumen un reporte de la reunión que tuvimos el lunes del SLT, que es el equipo de liderazgo de la escuela. Fue una reunión para cuadrar las cosas administrativas del equipo, del grupo. Y bueno, esa reunión también pueden participar todos, no tienen que ser miembros fijos del comité, pero pueden participar quienes quieran participar y se van a llevar a cabo el tercer lunes de cada mes, también at 4, right? A las 4 de la tarde, por Zoom.
Okay, and so then that brings us to the treasurer's report. Mary Louise, are you with us? Mary Louise?
I'm here. Sorry. I was just looking at Brighter Bites things. And just discovered that Brighter Bites link that was on the flyer does not work, just so everyone knows. I
Okay.
just posted the correct link in the chat. And you just have to choose NYC and our school name, PS 376K. So you can join. That might be why we haven't gotten many signups, FYI.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, but on to the treasurer's report.
Hold on, let me try to hold the microphone so you can be heard
Oh,
in person.
So the
is
QR.
it Mariella? Is that how you said?
Ajá, Mariel.
Mariel, can you just tell people that about the Brighter Bites real quick?
Yeah. Okay. I was checking because you said about the link, and I was checking the QR code, and the QR code does work. So maybe the people that have signed up. Yeah, not the link that's spelled out, but the QR does work.
Right.
So, lo que acaba de decir Mary Louise, ella estaba revisando el volante de Brighter Bites, de la comida que se va a distribuir. Y es que hay que corregir el enlace no funciona, pero el código QR sí funciona. Si se quieren inscribir, usen el código, que es el cuadrito con la imagen negra con blanco. Pero vamos a mandar la información con el enlace correcto.
Right. Well, oh, hi, wait 1 second.
Oh. Can you hear it through the?
Okay, sorry guys, I'm multitasking today. I'm ready for the treasurer's report. Next slide. All right, so just a few things happened over the summer since my last report. We got our check from our end of the year pictures, our graduation pictures. So that was an addition, which was, I think I have it on the next slide, which is $620 and some change. And then we did, so the deal is our bank account is a business account, and you have to keep at least $5,000 in it. And if you don't, then you get charged $16 a month. So we got charged most of the year. We have been keeping it above 5,000, but we had, spent a lot on the end of year carnival and things. So we dipped below, and so we got 2 charges of 16. So that was a deduction. But we currently have $4,519.03 in the bank. We have $344.45 petty cash, and we still have the money that we have had for a while in our open collective account, which is $523.76. For those that don't know, Open Collective is our fiscal sponsor. So it allows us to get 501c3 contributions. That means if your company makes charitable contributions to organizations, they could donate to us through that and use it as a tax write-off, which everyone loves. So, that's a good opportunity for us going forward. Or if you would like to make a charitable donation, then you could do it that way too. And it would be tax deductible. And then we have a deficit of $1,326.95 because during the pandemic, we had accepted money for pictures that didn't ever get taken. And we have done our due diligence over the past several years trying to find people who were owed money, but we just haven't been able to locate many of them. So that's what's left. And I think we have to keep it in our account for like 5 to 6 years. I can't quite remember what it is, but I think we have another year or two to go. And if we still haven't found people, then we get to absorb it and we'll keep it. So anyway, that leaves us with $4,060 dollars and 29 cents. Marielle, you can try to.
Entonces, como pueden ver en la pantalla, ese es el presupuesto de la asociación. El saldo actual es de $4,500. Hay 344 de dinero efectivo. Y en Open Collective hay 523. Open Collective es un patrocinador fiscal, es como una plataforma en internet a través de la cual se puede donar dinero a la asociación y se puede también desembolsar dinero desde ahí. Y si para quienes se quieran postular para ayudar a recaudar fondos, es bueno mencionar el Open Collective porque quienes donen dinero por ahí, ya sea individuo u organización, lo pueden deducir de los impuestos. Otra cosa es que la cuenta de la asociación es una cuenta de negocio, entonces en el banco en donde está, la cuenta de negocio tienen que tener más de $5,000, de 5,000 para arriba para que no le cobren balance mensual. Y 2 veces cobraron cargo de $16 al mes por tenerla debajo de los 5,000. Pero por ahora, bueno, el saldo disponible es de 4,000 porque hay un déficit de unos 1,300 que están ahí, pero es que están buscando familias que se inscribieron para tirarle fotos a los niños durante la pandemia, las fotos escolares, y todavía se están buscando algunas familias que ya se habrán ido de la escuela o no sé, pero para devolverle su dinero. O sea que se está deduciendo ese dinero, poniéndose aparte para cuando se vayan encontrando la gente, devolverle su dinero y ya después de un tiempo, si no aparecen, entonces se vuelve y se absorbe dentro del balance general. Pero por ahora se puede decir que contamos con $4,060 con 29 centavos.
Great. And then this is just a written down breakdown of what I just told you. We had a deposit of $620.14. And then we did have those 2 bank fees. So hopefully when we get membership dues, we can get back up to 5,000 and get rid of those pesky fees.
Esto en la pantalla es ya un desglose más específico de lo que enseñamos en la pantalla anterior. Aquí se reflejan los 2 cargos de $16 por estar debajo de los 5,000, la cuenta, y una comisión de $600 por las fotos escolares. Y bueno, ya esperamos que el balance sobrepase los 5,000, ya cuando se recolecten donaciones y lo que pagan los miembros.
And I think that's, so do I talk about this, Casey, or do you talk about this?
I think you talk about it because
Okay.
it's your proposed.
Okay, so everything that we do, we all really want to encourage participation, and we as the board don't want to just be making decisions and like for the group. We really want your input. So as we move forward and we are thinking about fundraisers we want to do and events we want to do, we want to get your feedback. And one way is to fill out that survey that we talked about at the beginning. But then another way is sometimes we might just pitch the different things that we want to do, and then we'll all vote about it in the general meetings. So one thing that we do every year to raise funds is ask for membership dues. I believe we usually ask for about $5, a minimum of $5 per family. If you can give more, we love that. Always accepted. And that would be to fund the general PSA expenses and supplies for events, just to get things moving. And then we also are planning a student picture day in November, and that money would be earmarked for our year-end celebration, because we usually do something at the end of the year. We can all decide on that later down the road. But so I would move to do a fundraiser of asking for membership dues, and then also the student picture day in November. And I think we need to do a vote on that.
Entonces, una de las maneras que Mariluis propone es recaudar fondos para tener un poco más de balance para la asociación y hacer eventos. Próximamente es cobrar la cuota de membresía de la asociación de padres, que serían un mínimo de $5 por familia. Y como dice ahí la diapositiva, la meta sería recaudar al menos $1,000 para gastos generales, como mencioné. Y también en noviembre se propone un día de fotos o de tomar fotos escolares para los niños de fin de curso. Así que próximamente se va a mandar información de esas iniciativas que estamos haciendo para recaudar un poquito más de dinero.
Okay, so in order to have the online vote, I will create a poll very quickly. I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen real quick.
Someone needs to second my motion.
Oh, sorry, I second your motion.
Thank you.
Um,
And just so everyone knows, we're going to try to keep our meetings a little shorter and sweeter throughout the year. This one's just a little bit longer since it's our first one, but we are going to work really hard at keeping our meetings to about an hour.
and we can vote on both at the same, or we have to do one for photos and one for,
I think you can kind of put it in one, maybe, well, no, that makes it harder. I think you can do a poll where it's like, you can put two questions at the same time, you know?
But yeah, add question and they will be separate.
and sorry, do you want the separate question to be, I agree to each thing as proposed, like meaning that the allocation is the same? As what is.
Yeah. Or, I mean, we can ask right now, does anybody, is there any discussion? Does anybody have any other ideas for how the money could be used, or?
Ok, la
I mean, we
pregunta
can
es
just,
que si está bien esas dos propuestas de recaudar dinero a través de cuota de membresía y de la foto de fin de curso en noviembre. Esas son dos opciones. O si alguien tiene otra sugerencia, porque vamos a ponerlo a votación. De nuevo, la idea es recaudar fondos a través de cuota de membresía de la Asociación de Padres, mínimo $5 por familia, y lo de la foto, no, there wasn't like an amount attached to the photo.
No, not
yet.
to the
Okay.
photo.
Bueno, y la otra manera de recaudar fondos sería a través de la foto. Todavía no tenemos, no sabemos cuánto costaría, pero esas son las dos sugerencias que vamos a poner a votación ahora. Estamos creando la encuesta aquí para la gente que están en Zoom. La puedan llenar, decir si están de acuerdo o no. O sea, si están de acuerdo con cobrar membresía de $5 por ser padres de la escuela, parte de la asociación de padres. Y si están de acuerdo o no de que se haga una foto escolar en noviembre, una foto de fin de curso, y a través de eso también se recaude dinero.
and just wanted to say, while Casey's still setting up the survey, you know, we will do other fundraisers. We're going to do lots of other events. We're just kind of waiting to get the feedback from the survey to see what everybody wants to do. And then we'll kind of propose a bunch of other stuff next meeting.
Yeah, obviously, do you want to put it in Spanish real quick?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll do that.
so Mariel is going to add the Spanish really quick for the people at home.
How many people are in person, Casey?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I think a couple people maybe in the hall.
And yeah, a few people left, I think.
Yeah, we lost.
Oh, no.
Maybe
Are we going to have quorum
We're bumping right
to
up,
do the election?
so we're going to have to.
Can we go ahead and do the election before people start leaving?
I Well, we have to end this meeting.
After this?
Yeah,
Oh, well, you
Okay.
have the principal's report still.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, should I click save?
Yeah.
And let's see.
Okay, so we are now going to launch the poll. And then everyone in person can just vote by a show of hands. Okay, and I'm going to go back to
Oh, no,
here.
someone else just walked out. Maybe.
Yeah, okay, so here is the poll.
Esa es la encuesta para los que están en Zoom y los que estamos aquí vamos a levantar la mano para decir si de acuerdo o no.
Okay, so for the first question, by show of hands, do you agree to the Picture Day fundraiser as proposed? Where the Picture Day funds will go to sort of the year-end carnival and was it school enrichment, Mary Louise?
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm confused. The fundraiser I know is for the picture day, but what is it consistent of? I guess I'm confused about that
So,
part.
when you have picture day at schools, like that's not put on by the school usually. It's put on by often the PTA, and it's a fundraiser. So basically it's just like you buy pictures and we get a percentage of the cost.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the membership dues is just like a cash donation, basically.
Someone is in the waiting room. Lo que ella preguntaba es de en qué qué tiene que ver la foto con donación. Y es que cuando se tiran fotos escolares, eso no es algo organizado por la escuela, sino por la asociación de padres para recaudar fondos para la asociación. O sea, con cada pago de cada paquete de fotos que uno compre, la asociación de padres recibe un %. Entonces, de esa manera se recaudan fondos también. Oops, that was-
okay, so by show of hands, for everyone here, do you agree to the Picture Day fundraiser as proposed? Say aye.
Si están de acuerdo con la foto, recaudar dinero a través de las fotos.
So that was anonymous, unanimously agreed upon.
Okay. Aquí todos en persona votamos que sí, estamos de acuerdo con recaudar fondo a través de la foto, del día de fotos.
Okay, so then question 2 for everyone in person, the question is, do you agree to the membership dues as proposed? They would be they would go towards PSA sort of general expenses.
Okay, que si están de acuerdo,
All in
esto para
favor.
los que estamos aquí, que si estamos de acuerdo con recaudar dinero, recolectando mínimo $5, y ese dinero va a ir para la asociación de padres, para gastos que se presenten.
Yeah. Yes.
Proposing it like that, it sounds like it's mandatory, but it's not supposed to. You can accurate, very accurate, but it's not mandatory.
The membership dues?
Yeah.
And no, yeah, they're definitely not mandatory, and all the paperwork that says that on this is just asking, this isn't asking like whether or not you're going to pay the dues, this is asking with whatever dues we collect. Our goal is $1,000 for the association. Can we allocate those funds to the PSA operating expenses? That's all that we're asking. Our bylaws state that we collect dues, but you, as Melissa pointed out, no one is required to, it's like a suggested donation. No one is required to pay dues. Your membership as part of the PSA is not contingent on you paying dues.
Ok, la pregunta que surgió aquí es que si es obligatorio pagar cuota de membresía de la Asociación de Padres. Y recuerden que todos, si tenemos niños en la escuela, somos parte de la Asociación de Padres y la respuesta es que no, no es obligatorio. Lo que se está votando es, o para lo que estamos votando es si el dinero que se recaude voluntariamente, o sea, si usted quiere donar dinero, si ese dinero que se recaude se asigna a la Asociación de Padres para gastos de la asociación, no, para gastos de operación.
Melissa, yes.
So those operating funds include better than eating. Like actual food and drinks.
Like the rice.
If you, that is a point that you would like to see, then you can definitely weigh in on that. Like operating funds are operating funds and like, you know, how we have so much to work with. And like, if you want to see better food and drinks for in-person meetings, then please, you know, let us know and we can talk about that. That would be a great thing to discuss about on the fundraising committee, because the fundraising committee is sort of about raising money and like sort of proposing ideas on how to spend it. So thank you for the question. The fundraising committee, if you're interested in better in-person meeting snacks, is the place to voice those concerns.
Definitely. Excuse me. Also, could there possibly be a way that we can do kind of like an RSVP maybe for the in-person meetings, or if people are going to tune in on Zoom, that way you know, as far as how many people we're working with in person and how many people on Zoom, because I love that idea that she just said. You know, better food, better drinks, maybe that'll make people want to come. You know what I mean?
I think that is a tremendous suggestion, and I think that makes having better snacks like much more feasible. Like if we know specifically, then there's like less waste. So I love that idea, and I think that's something an RSVP for in person is something we can definitely implement going forward for next month.
Definitely, because people get off of work, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, totally.
sometimes you can't cook dinner or something, you know what I mean? It would just make more sense. But like you said, you don't want to be wasteful. So I think having maybe not a poll, but you know, just or an RSVP basically, just to know who's gonna come in person and who's gonna be on Zoom, and kind of like an attendance sheet, you know what I mean? I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Ok, voy a traducir rápidamente lo que preguntaba Melissa, es que si no puede haber mejores snacks y comida aquí para los que venimos en persona. Y Casey decía que eso es un punto muy importante y que se debería traer en el comité de recaudación de fondos, porque de eso se trata ese comité, de recaudar fondos y de ver cómo se gastan, porque ya con mejor comida serían gastos más grandes. Y lo que la persona en Zoom mencionaba es que si se ofrece mejor comida cuando nos reunamos aquí en persona, que si entonces cuando se mande la invitación o un volante o lo que sea, el email, con la información sobre la reunión, que si se debe poner entonces para que la gente indique si viene o no, así uno sabe cuánta gente viene en persona y no incurrimos en gasto o en desperdicio de comida si pedimos comida para la reunión en persona. O sea que todo eso son puntos muy importantes. Y lo de la comida y gastar dinero en comida para las reuniones es algo que definitivamente se debería discutir con el comité de dinero.
Okay, so it looks like I'm going to end the online poll. So with 15 of 16 responding, the picture day fundraiser as proposed has been passed. It was unanimously passed in person. And with 15 of 16 responding in the affirmative, the membership dues as proposed was passed. And then here it was also
Okay.
agreed to. So we're going to end that, and then we are going to
Y la encuesta concluyó con que para ambos puntos hubo aceptación unánime. Se aceptó que los fondos que se recauden de la membresía vayan a la asociación para los gastos que se presenten y también lo de las fotos. Y aquí lo que estamos en persona también. Votamos que sí, de acuerdo.
Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, and we'll go back to sharing our, we are really at the point, Mary Louise, unless you have anything else, I think we're at the point of the principal's report.
Nope, I have nothing.
Okay, great.
Mm.
So then. Miss Perez Hernandez? Now here is Miss Perez Hernandez with the principal's report.
Great. Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry. I will be very brief. I know it's really late and we still have children here. So I will be as quick as I possibly can. I just want to welcome everyone back to the start of another great school year. We're so happy to see all of our children and families. And our opening day was fantastic as we dove into a new year all together. Some pictures of our students by our displays. It was just wonderful to be able to finally receive them back. I just want to thank everyone who came out and participated in our back to school blast this past Saturday. Thank you so much. I really have to thank Ms. Valley, Ms. Badillo, Ms. Nilsa, Ms. Yesenia for taking on this huge undertaking, for all of the community-based organizations that came out and supported that day. And then of course, all of our families that joined us and had a great time with their children. So thank you so much for being a part of our events. That's how we build community together. And we love those opportunities where we get to share with our families and children in moments that are not academic, right? Where we can have some fun and get to know one another better. I do want to make everyone aware that coming up, we will be having the first week of October, the week of October 2nd, what we're calling Curriculum Week. We have added 2 new curriculums. There are our district-wide shared curriculums into reading and into writing. We luckily already had adopted the shared math curriculum for the district, which is illustrative math, but we're going to revisit it during curriculum week so that parents are fully aware of what are the tenets of these curriculums and why the shift towards these curriculums. They are actually the curriculums that are being suggested citywide by our chancellor. We just happen to fall as a district into phase 1. So we're the first rollout to have to adopt these curriculums. We've spent probably since last spring really unpacking them, making sure that our teachers were prepared and planned to make that transition. And the curriculums come with some really great options and support for families as well. So during curriculum week, we're kind of going to unpack them with you, answer questions that families may have, and just give a better understanding about why and what makes them, you know, really strong curriculums to support student learning. So we hope to see you. We're hoping to make it a hybrid workshop. We do want to see more parents in our school building. So we're really going to be promoting a lot more in-person opportunities. But because this is really about new curriculums, we want to make access available to as many families as possible. So we know that that virtual option is important. Para todos nuestros padres, oh my gosh, I have to go back and do it in Spanish. Quiero darles la bienvenida a un nuevo año. Estamos muy contentos y orgullosos de tenerlos de nuevo, de vuelta en nuestra escuela. Algunas fotos de nuestros estudiantes el primer día de escuela. También les queremos dar la gracia a todos por participar en nuestro regreso a la escuela evento este pasado fin de semana. Muchísimas gracias a Ms. Valley, Ms. Badillo, Ms. Romero y Ms. Yesenia por todo su trabajo, a todos los padres y a nuestro PTA Executive Board que organizaron el cambio de uniformes y la pintura de cara, y también todos nuestros padres y familias que vinieron y apoyaron el evento. Comenzando la primera semana en octubre, el 2 de octubre, vamos a tener un evento sobre los nuevos currículos que tenemos en nuestra escuela, y va a ser una oportunidad para padres tener más información sobre el currículo y vamos a poder contestar cualquier pregunta que tienen, y también dejarles saber el apoyo que los currículos traen para padres para que puedan entender lo que los niños están aprendiendo a través del año. I also finally want to give another plug for Brighter Bites before I turn it back over to Ms. Fisher-Bear. Brighter Bites will be here tomorrow. They'll be here periodically across the school year. I did just contact them and they got back to me. If you're having any trouble with the link or being able to register, just come. We want you here. We want you to have access to this opportunity. We will register you on site. They will have representatives here tomorrow as well to assist with that process. We are also looking for volunteers. Anyone who would like to volunteer, you're more than welcome to. We'll be packaging and moving the produce from the Harmon Street into the school auditorium. And every family that comes that registers can receive 2 bags of either fresh fruit or fresh vegetables. I don't know quite yet what the bags are going to contain, but it's 2 bags per family. And our students will be immersed in a healthy living program associated. So once the bags come to school, each teacher gets a bag for the classroom. They present the different produce that the students are going to be able to go home with that day. And they do a lesson around the fruit and vegetable, and they talk about recipes that can be made using the produce. So it's going to engage everyone in our school community. So we hope everyone takes full advantage of that. Yeah, the more participation we have, the longer we're able to continue to participate in the program. So we're really excited about this program. There's not that much access to fresh produce always in our communities at an affordable price. So it really kind of fits a need that we have in our community. So we're really, really excited. If anybody has any questions about Brighter Bites, I'm more than happy to answer it, but I know everyone probably wants to move on. So have a great evening, everyone. Ms. Fisher-Bear. And we're always here. Any questions, please feel free to contact us.
Okay. Thank you everyone for hanging in. Hold on just a second. So here we are in our presentation. So we had the principal's report, and then just upcoming reminders. The food distribution for Brighter Bites, as discussed, is tomorrow. There will be no classes on Monday, September 25th, and then also no school at all on Monday, October 9th. Given that we have all just decided that we are going to keep our same second Thursday of the month, the next PSA meeting will be Thursday, October 12th. So that's in 3 weeks. So hopefully you'll all come back. We will try out an RSVP for the in-person portion, which will hopefully yield better snacks. And we would love to see more of you in our new home, which is room 119. Also, like Mary Louise said, we will, the first one's always the hardest, like just getting it going, and we're hoping to get more efficient with each meeting that comes. So please stick with us, and we hope to have a great year.
Ok, y ya para finalizar, estos son los algunos recordatorios. Mañana es la distribución de alimentos de Brighter Bites aquí en la escuela. And the time is 2:30 tomorrow for Brighter Bites.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. I also heard 2:30 to 4 is what the email said,
Right.
but then I heard that you could pick up after, if you're picking up your child after school. Is that possible to pick up then?
Did you hear that? Can you pick up for after school if you have your kid?
Yes, any fast.
Like, what are the official hours, I guess, is the easiest way to say it.
After school and they have a signing machine.
Okay, so if any bags are not picked up during the official times, which is 2:30 to 4, then those bags for kids in after school will be given to the after school staff, and they have a list, and those will be distributed as the kids are picked up.
If you are unable to come yourself, register, you can have someone else pick up the bag.
Okay.
And so then the second part of that is if you are unable to come yourself, but you've registered, you can designate someone else to pick up your bag and in your place, but you need to give them your code that you received through the registration process.
Okay.
But
Entonces,
tomorrow, if you did not register, just go, because they're gonna have lots of extra bags otherwise.
right. And as Ms. Perez Hernandez said, you can be registered on site too if you come tomorrow. Entonces, como decía, recordando que mañana es el primer día de distribución de alimentos de Brighter Bites. Si no pueden registrarse porque el enlace no funciona o cualquier cosa, pueden venir en persona y lo ayudan aquí a registrarse de 2:30 a 4. Y si sus niños están en el programa de After School, que salen ya más tarde a las 5:15, 5:30, va a haber algunas fundas de comida también que se le van a, si está registrado especialmente, que se le van a entregar después que lo recoja ya a las 5:30. Entonces, ¿qué más sobre Brighter Bites? Y eso, si no puede inscribirse, bueno, venga y se inscribe aquí en persona. Y si no puede venir, cuando usted hace su inscripción por el enlace y le sale un código, puede compartir el código con quien usted quiera mandar para que recoja su comida. Si no puede venir en persona usted mismo. Y bueno, el siguiente recordatorio es que no hay clase el próximo lunes 25 de septiembre ni el lunes 9 de octubre porque son días de fiesta. Y la próxima reunión de la Asociación de Padres va a ser el 12 de octubre. Ese es el tercer mes de octubre. Wait, is October 12th the next meeting? Isn't it the third?
Our meeting is the second.
Oh, the
Thursday.
second. Got it. Okay. The second. Entonces sí, las reuniones son cada segundo jueves del mes. Entonces la próxima va a ser el 12 de octubre a las 6 de la tarde, en persona y virtual por Zoom, lo que no puedan venir. Y para el aviso de la siguiente reunión, vamos a tratar de poner que puedan hacer RSVP, o sea, que indiquen si vienen o no en persona. Así sabremos si tenemos mejor comida aquí para la reunión en persona. Y bueno, eso es todo.
Okay, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and have a great night.
Gracias por venir y que tengan una bonita noche. Y
Thank
ya,
you.
termina la reunión.
Do you guys still have quorum for the election?
I'm gonna have to make a call just to make sure that we're set, because it's real close.
It's 8 people. Are there 2? Is Yasmin or Yvette there?
Yasmin
too?
and Yvette are both here.
Okay, great.
So I just want to make sure that we have eligibility in everyone that is present. So that's a thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay,
so-
well, I'll stay tuned. I'm sad that I can't vote. Sorry I couldn't be there,
Okay. Well,
but keep me posted.
okay.
All right.
Thanks.
And-
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.